So one of the biggest questions we get when people move to Dominican Republic is whether they should buy first or should they rent. And honestly, there is no one size fits all. Some people come here and they rent for a year, learn the country, and then they buy. And some people buy before they ever move and they end up doing great. But then you have some who buy before they understand what they're getting into, and 6 months later, they end up selling. And that's when I hear them say, Jade, I think I made a mistake.
And the other side is the people that wait too long. They spend years just watching, so the price got on, the opportunity disappears, and then they wish they had bought sooner. So today we're going to talk about both sides of this conversation. How to move first, who to buy first, and what mistake we see people do over and over.
So let's start with why so many people want to buy before they move. And the reason is, what I hear all the time is they don't want to waste money on rent.
That's probably number one reason. People look at rent and think it's throwing money away. They will rather put the money on something to own.
I understand that mindset, but here's the thing. Renting is not always throwing away your money. Sometimes it's tuition, paying to learn, paying to figure out what area that you actually want to live in. What you're actually doing is you're paying to avoid a six-figure mistake.
And another reason why people are buying is because they're worrying about price continue increasing. A lot of investors are seeing what's happening in places like Punta Cana, Cap Cana, even in Santo Domingo, and they don't want to miss the opportunity.
And here's why I think people get in trouble at, because vacation in real life is two totally different experiences. I've seen people who spent 1 week in Punta Cana and they are convinced that that's where they want to live. And 6 months later, you know what they're saying? They actually miss living in the city. That would be me. I miss the restaurants. I miss being closer to business opportunity. And suddenly, guess what? Now they're looking at Santo Domingo.
Or the opposite. People think they want the energy of Santo Domingo, then they move here and they realize that they want something quiet.
Exactly. Dominican Republic is not one place. It's not just one experience. Living in Santo Domingo is totally different, completely different than living in Punta Cana.
Yes, it is.
Punta Cana feels different than Santiago. And if you've only seen this country through YouTube videos or vacation trips, you may not really know what actually fits your lifestyle.
One thing is that people usually focus on the price of the property, but that is only a part of the equation. There are other costs that come with ownership. For example, HOA fees, insurance, maintenance, property management, repairs, furniture, and utilities.
So let's talk about furnishing your apartment or condo for a second. Many people think when they buy the condo and they pay for it that they're done. And then they realize they still need furniture, appliances, kitchen items, TVs, decor, and mattresses, and suddenly they're spending an additional $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Exactly. Ownership comes with some responsibility that many buyers don't calculate.
Now, I don't want people watching this thinking that we're saying that you should never buy before you move, because that's not what we're saying. Because there are situations where this makes perfect sense.
Exactly. If you're an investor and your goal is general income, the conversation will be completely different. You don't need necessarily live here. You only need to understand the numbers. You need to understand the location, and you need to do proper due diligence.
I agree. If you visited multiple times and you spent significant time here, then you know the market. You understand the area, so buying first can absolutely work for you. The key is understanding whether you're trying to buy a lifestyle or you're trying to buy an investment, because those are not the same thing. So let's talk about investing remotely, because this is becoming more common. We're starting to see this a lot, that people from Canada, the United States, and Europe are starting to buy properties without actually even living here.
Yes, and this can work. Many people do successfully, but you need a team, you need trusted professional, and you need a legal guide. You need property manager, and you need realistic expectation.
The biggest mistake I see people make is assuming that everything is going to run itself, and it's not. Even in the United States, real estate isn't passive, and definitely not in a foreign country you're going to see or think that real estate is passive. When Milta and I talk, we think about people fall in 3 categories. One category is the relocator. Their goal is simple. All they want to do is just build a life here. Not just own a property, they actually want to live here in Dominican Republic. For that person, I usually recommend that they come, they rent, they explore, learn the neighborhoods, and then figure out the type of lifestyle that they want.
The second person is the investor. They're focused in return, rental income, appreciation, portfolio growth. For the person, can make sense if the numbers work.
And the third group is the hybrid buyer. This is becoming really popular right now. They buy now, they rent the property out. Then they move later. Now this strategy can work, but you have to plan it properly.
One mistake I see is people rushing. They get emotionally attracted to a property. They stop using common sense with investment.
Yes, and I agree. I see people buying with their vacation emotions. Vacation Jay and real life Jay are two different people. Vacation you is relaxed. Vacation you is drinking pina coladas. Vacation you is looking at the ocean views. But real life, you gotta deal with groceries, traffic, internet, doctors, daily routines, and those things actually matter.
Another mistake that people do is just focus on the price, because the cheapest property or investment is not always the best investment.
So let's answer this question. Should you move first or buy first? For me, if your goal is relocation, move first. Learn the country, learn yourself, and figure out where you truly want to be.
And if you go it's to investment, buy first can absolutely make sense. But treat like investment. Do your research, understand the numbers, work with professionals, and remove emotion from the decision.
At the end of the day, this is how I look at it. If you're moving here to build a life, then move first. If you're buying to build wealth, then buying first makes sense. And that's the difference that I think a lot of people miss. So if you're thinking about moving to Dominican Republic, let us know in the comments, would you move first or would you buy first? So if you're interested in investing in Dominican Republic, visit our website, drinvestandlive.com. Check out some of our available properties over there. And if you need any personal assistance, complete the form and Milta will be in contact with you. And until then, guys, remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're gonna live your best life. And we out. Peace.